Check, check, 1, 2, check, check, hello. Let me check the live stream. Check, check. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. Let me post that where it needs to go. Let me pull open the Trainz official server as per the usual. Give me just a moment. Route building stream live now. Just gonna put that there. Hope everyone is having a happy new year so far. I am ready. I'm ready for a year of Tolbrand, is what I'm ready for. I am looking forward to doing some work, doing some more good hard work on this route. I don't remember where we were when we began 2024. I'm sure you could go back in the stream record and see. Oh, I didn't set the date right. Hold on, I didn't set the date. What up, Willie? 01, 02, right? Today's the 2nd. That should be better. I don't know if that'll fix immediately. Anyway, my New Year's resolution was to shave my face, and now I look terrible. But at least I did my New Year's resolution. Cut the new Malay loco off of K&L. The one that's like it's like a kit bash of a locomotive. I wish I could play with my K&L stuff in this. That's maybe the one thing that I miss more than anything else when it comes to Tolbrand, is not being able to use stuff that isn't on the DLS, which I know some of the stuff that I'm using isn't strictly speaking on the DLS. It's package content or you know, DLC or whatever, but it's all in Trainz. Like, if you have a Trainz Plus and you download this route, you should have everything. What did you miss and what are we doing today? That's a good question. Well, you didn't miss Not Tetris. We gotta do that first. As far as what we're doing today, that's a real good question. Because it's new year, new me. Not really. New year, same, despite everything, it's still Tolbrand. But in seriousness, I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure where to begin. I'm not sure what the natural starting point is for 2025. I know we've had a lot of weeks off lately. And that sometimes was, well, it was almost always circumstances outside of my control. But we are going to get in on working on this area of town. I think we're at a point where we can start pushing for so, no, I have it installed, I just can't use it on Tolbrand, the K&L stuff. The Tolbrand is, strictly speaking, a DLS-only route. And I don't usually come and play Trainz if I'm not here streaming. If I want to drive trains around, I'm going to either go play Railroader with people or Derail Valley by myself. Which is what I was doing before we started. The heck was I saying? I think we're at a point where we can start pushing to, like, close the scenery gap again. I know for a while we were looking at the area between what's directly behind the camera and sort of what's directly in front of the camera, I guess. Just looking at all that and saying, okay, we need to connect these two, and we did a lot of work on the little industrial area and residential areas in between. There's still a lot more of that to do, and we can sort of spend time there to make that connection a lot more robust, if that makes any sense, the connection between the two sections of scenery that we've done. Now, that's always good, because it means you have one big piece of connected scenery, but on the other hand, sort of like chainsawing a log, right? It's always easier to work on the sections that have more done around them. So I guess the analogy would be like more cut away. Hello, and hello, future me 300 days from now. Are you gonna check back on this next year? You gonna see if you made your New Year's resolution? Honestly, I am kind of curious where we were when we started in 2024. But Godspeed, Orion. At any rate, yeah, it's easier to sort of whittle away at areas that have things around them. It's tough to just start from a blank canvas in the middle of nowhere. Um, and when you get to the point where you're at the edge of your work, like at the edge of your scenery, and the only thing is, well, you're gonna have no scenery in front of you and scenery behind you. That's that's as tough as it gets when it comes to a route that is already established. You know, it's easier than, in some respects, easier than starting a brand new fresh route where you don't know where to begin, you don't know where to first, you don't know where to lay the first piece of rail or put down the first house. Like that is sometimes daunting in and of itself. Um, but as looking at an established route and saying, okay, I need to proceed in this direction, you generally end up building like a spearhead of scenery. You say, okay, I'm going to go in this direction, and oh man, I could have done better with that. I could have done, I'm going to go in this direction, and yeah, no, okay, yeah, Pat's the first person to say anyone about it. I shaved it. It was itchy. I was tired of it. It's going to come back, though, because God, do I look terrible, right? Don't answer that. Nobody answer that. But anyway, we're doing kind of good here. Okay, that's a way to do it. But yeah, no, I feel like I should make an actual New Year's resolution, because saying I'll shave my face and then doing it immediately, it's not very exciting now, is it? Um, it's not really something for me to work towards. It sort of spoils it's a trick answer, right? Um, okay. That's, oh, my neck. But yeah, if you guys have any New Year's resolutions, you can hit me with them. I want to hear it. I, I, maybe by the end of the stream I'll come up with one. There's definitely some good fodder for New Year's resolutions out there for me. You know, it's a good opportunity to be introspective and sort of look back at yourself and where you can improve, what you can do better on. And it doesn't necessarily mean like get better at algebra, but that's not an unfair one. But just like in dealings with people, Um, okay, let's get that over there. I got distracted because I saw the post about Entertainment Junction. Orion made a note about how Entertainment Junction is closing. If you want to visit it, go ahead. I believe it's been bought up by some folks in Chattanooga and is going to get moved, aside from the building, but everything in the building. And coincidentally, we talked about this on the most recent podcast, on the most recent episode of the Terminus podcast. It was Jader's thing. Because he's going, or went. I think he went this past weekend. I haven't talked to him to see if it was fun or not. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was very entertaining. All right, I think we're done here. Lost it. Work more on your Connecticut Northwestern. Yeah, no, I wish you luck. I'm actually doing a project in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, which, like for my actual work, which is fun because it's like, oh, the Housatonic is right there and all that jazz. Let's start the stream officially by sending that link over there. And honestly, we should paint this block. That'll be the first thing we do. So yeah, let's do this. And I'm gonna have to detail this block, and I probably should. This should be the first thing I do. Just throwing the houses down is not, it's not enough, right? It's not done. But I'm gonna, getting this, and this done. These 4 blocks to have this corridor of scenery fleshed out better. I think that's probably a decent goal for today. And then this, I think I wanted to do an orchard. I've got to do that at some point. But there's so much little fiddly stuff to do around here. This is going to be a huge graveyard. I don't know how I'm going to do that exactly to make it less fiddly, but we will see. Let's try to do some driveways. Let's go and get a driveway anyway. Driveway spline. Top 3 New Year's resolutions: be in a better position than I am currently in to get my second channel going and to grow my HO and N scale collections. We'll never forget he who dies with the most trains wins, of course. I'm going to need to sink this into the ground because it's, like, above the ground. That's not a very useful driveway. There we go. Or useful, whatchamahoosit. Oh, also, I do have something special to celebrate the new year. Not anything special on stream, sadly, but I've got something right here, which this is Rhode Island's own soda. I know a lot of people will, where's my face? There it is. I know a lot of people will, can I make it less, yeah, there you go. We'll start a stream or something by cracking open a cold one. This is me cracking open a cold one. I don't drink, but Yacht Club soda is an exception to my not drinking soda, anyway. Bottoms up, Happy New Year. I actually haven't had the lemon before. It's interesting. I'm going to make sure not to knock that over. Lemon soda. Not bad. Yacht Club soda makes a lot of different flavors, and every once in a long while I'll go up there and I'll just grab a dozen, just assorted, just for kicks. I actually made one of my Yankee Swap gifts this year a little like 4-pack of Yacht Club soda and a gift card. I figured it was worth it just to, just go up there and get some soda. I like supporting them. They're local. It's one of those things. This house is floating. We're going to have to fix the terrain on this end. Okay, that is a problem that I didn't anticipate when it comes to using these pre-made blocks. If your land is not totally flat, stuff is going to be floating. That's interesting. I didn't think this through, I guess. But I mean, it's not bad. It's not too bad. I think this is floating a little bit. It's floating a teensy-tiny bit. Let's if the land is flat, you end up with a lake in your basement. I mean, there's no escape. There's no escape, Mason. Also, to answer your question that you about the raid array, I just saw a bunch of stuff saying like it's worse than nothing. Like it's more dangerous to your data, which doesn't really make sense to me. But the implication was if something happens to like the whatever is being used to set up the raid array, then you could lose everything on both drives. Doesn't seem to me like how you would want to set that kind of thing up anyway, but and it could be a Windows thing. But at any rate, I'm wondering if I can do something more straightforward then. Straightforward and like simple and robust. Maybe I'll make something cursed. If I knew how to code, I could. I'm sure I could set up something to just like, yeah, just copy all the files to the other thing every once in a while and overwrite anything that's already been there. That would slowly lead to like a weird overflow of temp files, but doing a separate dedicated OS. Well, I'm not doing that. My setup's already cursed enough. Okay, we'll do that with something. Let's bring in a pair of driveways here. This is interesting, this block. This custom block. Okay. Has anyone noticed the uptick in ownership of small steam locomotives for restoration/operation? Honestly, I suppose I haven't, but there have been some success stories in recent years. Um, it depends on what you're referring to, because the Gramlings don't really get out much anymore, do they? I feel like I haven't heard much out of Have Engine Will Travel. Um, and those are the people that I can think of when it comes to small engines that are privately owned. But there's almost certainly more. I mean, I'm thinking of, like, what's the Baldwin Railroad? Like SMS? They have a locomotive, right? That's kind of neat. I'm not sure if that falls under what you're talking about, but that's the kind of thing that I'm thinking of. Um, oh, SRI stuff. Yeah, because yeah, they're like part and parcel with SRI, aren't they? Um, and you know, well, you need someone to help you with 1225 apparently. Uh, at least it didn't. Well, there are worse things. Let's just say that. The Dinkies last year, Canadian 104 OST, um, and a few other engines. Hello, Stellar. Um, I mean, there was a little while there where we, the Horsemen, were looking at buying a locomotive. Um, I'm not sure if that's still on, but it might be. I'm just gonna fence this yard in. We're looking at buying like a mine Loki or something. But, you know, who knows? Should I just finish fencing in this whole yard? Why not? Let's just go whole hog with this. Just fence it in except for the driveway. Um, this guy in the corner probably doesn't need anything. Maybe a fence down here, but I don't know what. I'm trying to pick something I don't use often by looking at all the things I use often. This wooden fence. I seem to like this wooden fence a lot. It's a very good, like, standard, straightforward fence. Um, I would love to bring steam back to Rhode Island. I think the last time a steam engine was here was, I think it was Valley Railroad 40 in the 90s for opening up, or like the re-grand opening of the Kingston Station after renovation. There's a photo of it somewhere. I found like a really poorly printed version of that photo on like in a thrift store, but it wasn't worth getting, or it was a tag sale. It was in the basement of the Grange. Um, it wasn't worth getting because it wasn't like professionally printed at all. It was like someone had printed it on their home printer and then put it in a frame. Kind of interesting. It's the way it goes, I guess. Can I get like a classic white picket fence? How about this? White wood fence. Um, that's what happened to the beard. Is gone, reduced to atoms. It was itchy and I was tired of it, and I went, you know what? I'm gonna shave it off. It's gonna come back though because I don't look good and my face is cold. So don't get used to this. Hope you're using. You should restore the Hinckley engine. You should restore it back to Hinckley. I don't know where you'd get like an 040 chassis to drop it on, but or a 440 a chassis, but you know, you've got like the only surviving asterisk Hinckley locomotive, and it just vibes. Um, excuse me. Lemon soda. Um, I mean this in the nicest way possible. You look like one of the character icons in Locomotion right now. Oh God, I need a top hat. I need a top hat and a monocle. As I always played Wadra Wamjet. He was my man. He was my main man. And then he would like, you know, they had like those expressions, if you're doing well, and if you're doing poorly, and then you know, they like a neutral face or something. Need more of that. I've been told if we restore a steamer, it's going to be the Porter. I mean, that makes sense. But where's the fun in that? I mean, restoring an 060 is probably a lot easier and a lot more sane than restoring like a ridiculous bastardized uh, American turned consolidation. So I certainly don't blame the museum at all for figuring they will restore a oh my jaw, for figuring they'll restore a simpler, smaller, uh, slightly more put together locomotive. I just wish we had any steam here. I wish we could get the Gramlings to visit, uh, like the the Newport Narragansett Railroad. That would be wonderful. I would be so here for that. I would be able to replace the shirt that I had for 15 years and finally throw out. Um, yellow soda, yellow lemon soda, Yacht Club, delicious. I'm taking a little sip, so I want to make it last. Um, I only got one of everything, not of everything, but of the 12 sodas I got, I didn't get any duplicates, so I got to stretch them out. Um, let's get this here. I'll actually, I know some folks are, nobody in this chat, as far as I know. Some folks are going to be staying at my place for the Big E, and I could be talked into going and getting a set of Yacht Club sodas for those folks. I just love sharing it. It's a Rhode Island thing. I like sharing Rhode Island things. Um, you know what, I have an idea. We're going to go into Surveyor 2.0 for this. Orion, I think you mean yay, it's snowing outside. Actually, I'm like annoyed for no reason. It did not snow here today, but it snowed in West Warwick, like 2 towns to the south, and it snowed at Essex, and I don't know what I did to deserve this, because it's a personal affront. I want snow. I want the snow. Why can't I have it? In the words of Galinda, something's wrong. I didn't get my way. I think everyone would love to see 643 run again, because because it's Hinkley, because it's the Hinkley. It's not, but it is. Okay, let's see. I don't need the barbed wire fence. Let's see. We just need to like cap this back here, which we can just use this fence, I guess. Not having to place all the buildings does save a lot of time. Again, you just need to make sure stuff is flat. Ooh, excuse me. That's not quite lined up, but it'll work. Okay, so that's one block done. At some point, we're going to have to go through and do trees in this entire town, which is going to be entertaining. I want to put up a fence here, but it doesn't really make sense because most of the rest of this is not going to have a fence. Either way, whatever, it'll look good on the side of the road. Oh god, the original Hinkley Builders plate? Yeah, I'm sure that thing's lost to history. It was either melted down and turned into like artillery shells, or it's mounted on somebody's wall in their man cave. There's no in between. I mean, what year did 643 get rebuilt into a consolidation instead of the American that it was? Have you seen the video floating around where a guy built a Lego locomotive chassis that fits over a powered N-scale chassis? No, that sounds sick. I have not heard that. I've not seen that. I saw somebody built an air-powered like V10 engine or V12 engine or something that was all made of Lego, and I thought that was pretty neat. Um, oh, this is going to be interesting. Is this not straightened? Oh, it's not. Okay. How am I gonna do this one? I think I'll just do it the cheap and easy way. Straighten that, and then just grab this. Find the one with no sidewalks. Okay, and now we gotta jump back to Survey 2.0. I like it when the things that I need to do just sort of hit me one after the other. I don't even have to I don't have to sit here and think about what's next. I just look out at the world and I go, okay, gotta fix that, gotta fix that, gotta fix that. I mean, it's very real, right? Like that's what we all do, I would hope. But in seriousness, I'm just sitting here like gotta put a fence here, gotta do these intersections, easy peasy. The one she has right now says Topeka Shops 1897. Okay, so I said artillery shells. 1897. What would that have been? Who was at war in 1897? Wars. 1897. Sorry, yeah, 1897. Greco-Turkish War, Ottoman-Greek War. Okay, that was conflicts in 1987. When was? Okay, yeah, no, that's it. Philippine Revolution, maybe. Um, Although I suppose I would imagine the U.S. was not involved in the Philippine. Oh wait, no, there we go. In May of this, there's U.S. on the belligerents here. In 1898 and 1899. Okay. Forcing the Philippine-American War. Okay, all right, interesting. So yeah, the Spanish-American War. I expected to see that in the results, and I was kind of flabbergasted. Spanish-American War. Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and of course, the Philippine Revolution was part of that. Okay. Well, it's a shame that the last Hinckley Builders plate was fired at Spanish troops in the Philippines, or something to that effect. You know what? Let's keep working on intersections. Insert spline point here. Straighten spline. Insert spline point here. I really do like the way Surveyor 2 handles some of these mechanics. And just having like every option of what you can do with something at your fingertips, as opposed to having to go and select the correct tool for it. That's a good workflow. I mean, it's something that you don't really think about, but it's a good workflow. You just click on something and it brings up the context menu, and it's like, okay, what do you want to do? In this case, yeah, click on this, straighten spline, boom, done. Let's move this over here and do the same thing again. These are the easy ones, these are the easy intersections. We don't need to worry too much about getting these done and them being super fiddly and everything like that. I mean, so many of the intersections we've done, especially in Bellington proper and not South Bellington, have been super duper fiddly. Straighten spline. Anyone else get the free Hudson? Oh, I didn't. I might already own it though. I'm not entirely sure. I might already own it. I'm not sure. I don't. If I do own it, I probably don't have it installed. I was tempted to grab it, but man, it was a busy Christmas season. Like, too long to think about stuff. Let's do this. Insert spline point. There we go. There. There. Nope. No, 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 no. Grab the wrong thing. Give me that. There. 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 My only wish right now is that I wish the menus didn't take up so much of the screen. Excuse me. Northern Pacific, huh? The most expensive railroad in Merger Mania for no real good reason. It's not that much worse than anything, but I've made a lot of changes to that game lately. Did I set this one up, or is... Okay, I did set this one up. And then that's going, like, off-map that way. Scoot this one back to here. Free Hudson, Australian 280 from Baldwin. I was not interested in the rest. I don't know what the rest were. I don't know what all was on sale. Insert spline point. You enjoying the freeware? Let's, no. No, straighten spline. Thank you. Scoot this back to here. Replace this. Nope, not grid. Replace this with... Replace spline with selected asset. No, I need to replace it with... Not that one either. I need to replace it... Wait a minute. I just realized what I did over here, which was dumb. This has a center line. It should not. This needs to be replaced with this. Replace with selected asset, which, boy, isn't that a great tool. And then this down here needs to be replaced with the version of this that only has one, and I need to hope that it's facing the right direction. It is! Maybe this will be a good year. This is the year of getting 50/50s right. So far, I'm batting 1,000. 2 routes, Flying Scotsman, Australian 280 on the Hudson. Oh, okay. Oh, just one route. What route? So the last thing I need is more routes. Sometimes I'll get a route and I'll download it off the DLS just to like assimilate whatever assets are on that route. Like when I downloaded the UMR, the best part about that, other than being able to dick around on the UMR, was I had just a newfound treasure trove of random stuff that was used to make the UMR. Straighten spline. And I think all of that stuff is on the DLS too, so it's... Well, I only downloaded stuff from the DLS, so I couldn't have got it from... The assets that I received could not have been from anywhere else. Good evening, you. Insert spline point here. Insert spline point here, and I'm going to need to fix that in a minute, but that's okay. Let's take care of this. Straight spline. Let's do that. Okay. Frisco's red and white livery looks sharp while not being famous. Yeah, the Frisco doesn't get a lot of notoriety. I feel like the Frisco and the Rock Island liveries pre The Rock don't get a lot of attention, and it's a shame because there aren't a ton of good like red liveries out there, none that I can think of off the top of my head other than those two. And like maroon does not count here. I'm not talking about like the Pensie's Tuscan red. That doesn't count. What are some good red liveries out there? There's Rock Island, there's the Frisco, and what else? What else comes to mind? Oh, this is an annoying intersection, I say, as someone who builds intersections. RJ Corman isn't bad. That's a modern example. I feel like I should be able to come up with more, though. Being a Minuteman. Minuteman, I don't count. Minuteman's maroon. Minuteman's not red. Also, hi, Yankee. GM&O. Yeah, there we go. We've got it sitting over there in the engine house. I mean, Minuteman is a great scheme, but it's not my favorite B and M scheme, and also it's not red. Uh, SP technically, yeah, the bloody nose, there is red in there certainly, but it's mostly gray. Oh, and the SP like red orange, the sunset scheme, which honestly I don't really like that much. I just think it looks gaudy. Uh, on most of the stuff it's put on. Hmm. Southern cab roofs? Yeah, no, and we're not. Uh, yeah, the daylight livery. Um, what did I say? I said the sunset livery. Uh, whatever. Sunset route, daylight train. Insert spline point here. Um, I'm honestly like I feel like there's a lot of potential in that, and we're missing a big one. What are we missing? Milwaukee Road's orange. Hmm. What are we missing? Are you know it and you're holding out, or do you feel like you? Oh yeah, Santa Fe all the way. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Is it mostly silver though? Mostly silver with the red nose. Yeah, James can uh, go to Baltimore. Um, there was a. I was actually. Where the heck was I? I was somewhere where there was a small child, and he said, "Oh yeah, I think it was at the Providence Northern Open House, and we're running around Thomas because we have a Thomas that barely works, and it only comes out for the open house, but it makes a showing, and of course the kids love it, and uh, somebody says like one of the kids pointed it out and said something like, "Oh yeah, I like that, whatever. I like Thomas and Friends. James is my favorite," and I was like, "Ooh," because I wasn't gonna say anything to this kid, but like, no, James should not be your favorite. James is a prick. Uh, CP, no, no, no. CP is red. I think like the modern CP where they just paint the whole thing red. Uh, like the old CP, like the brownish, definitely not. The newer CP with the just like red and Canadian Pacific. Oh, and KCS has reddish. I'm not sure if I'd count that, but CPKC is now red. Straight and spline. Modern CP is reverse AVWR, or AWVR. Let's put that there. We've almost got all these intersections done. I'm not sure what I'm going to do after this, but we've almost got them all done. It'll be a nice break point, honestly. Insert spline point. No. Do it. Insert spline point. Thank you. Insert spline point. I love James. His attitude and his accent is perfect. His attitude is not perfect. He needs an attitude adjustment. In fairness, it's been a long time since I've watched Thomas and Friends and formulated this strong opinion on James. Like the most recent Thomas and Friends thing I watched was Magic Railroad a few years ago, and by a few years ago I mean like when I was not like long before I was living here. Um, Straight spline. I don't even remember like when I watched that, or why, or where I was. Um, it feels like a couple of years ago, but it was probably like a decade ago. It's been a long time since I've indulged in Thomas content. Alright, insert spline point. We are almost done here. I used to like James. Now I could care less. The British Pacifics are ugly. The vibrant colors are just you. See. This is why. This is why I can't. I can't paint up sorry. I can't paint up the Mikado in Derail Valley because oh my god, the demonstrator paint scheme is hideous. It's so blue. It's so blue. Oh yeah, the cranberry. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, You know, it kind of begs the question though, if James is at the bottom of my list, who's my favorite Thomas character? And I have no idea, but it's probably Toby. Toby's a real one. He's my like MVP. I remember always thinking he was cool. Let's do that. If Toby isn't like near the top of your list, I don't know what you're doing. All my homies love Toby. Yeah, exactly. Um, okay, insert spline point there. I need to scooch this back a little bit. Straighten spline. Donald and Dougie. Uh, did Toby become A-cab after the ticket incident? Toby's based as hell. Hello, DT. Oh, shoot. Give me this. Alright, let's fill this in here. There we go. Okay. Alright. On my neck. Okay. We've done all the intersections in this little section of town that someday I'll fill in. That is very good. It's like melted lemonade if that was good. Well, actually, melted lemonade or just normal lemonade because people outside of Rhode Island don't have frozen lemonade as like a regular staple of their lives. If we're going to discuss Thomas for this segment, I had the unfortunate pleasure of seeing 15 Seconds New Age Thomas. They murdered our childhood railroad. Yeah, okay. I don't take stock in any of the like new Thomas frustration. Whatever. I feel like we're so tied to our own childhoods. Uh, you know, I don't, even if it's not as good, which I can believe that it's not as good. I just don't. I'm not gonna waste energy hating on it. Also, Diesel 10 Gang. Okay, I want to say some mean stuff, but I don't want to say some mean stuff. Like, like, you know. But what I'm saying is this, this reboots a lots of our childhood programs. I mean, people love to hate on like Teen Titans Go, and I don't understand the energy. I don't understand being, I like, you gonna beef with the kids show? Like, they're making it, and it's not like we are gonna be here lamenting the lack of more good Thomas because are you gonna go back and rewatch the like VHSs you have in your basement? I know I'm not. Not until thanks. Thanks TJ. Um, they rebooted stuff like Magic School Bus and Carmen Sandiego. That's true, and I haven't seen either of those. I haven't seen too many people complaining about either of those in particular. No, the best conductor is definitely friggin' George Carlin. Not for any of his Mr. Conductoring though. I was listening to George. We will always have the Trainz remake of Thomas. That's true. I mean, there's a lot. There's some talented content creators that do stuff with the brand, not legally, but you do what you do. I feel like if they had done, and by they I just whoever. I feel like if Magic School Bus had been done dirty, the internet would have like lost its collective mind, right? Um, so I'm not like I I guessing I'm guessing that it didn't go particularly poorly. Right. So that's good. To be fair, my childhood was the late Dakota, Minnesota, and Eastern. I always had a beef with Thomas and friends. For starters, Thomas can't outrun breaking ice. Well, neither can the Polar Express. So, uh, it's a magic train. I was riffing on Polar Express with some people you know, shortly before Christmas, and you know, we'd get into it and blah blah blah. Why I can't do this, can't do that. Why doesn't this make any sense? The train's getting longer and shorter. What's going on? And I'd just be like, it's a magic train. Deal with it. The engine did, the Pullman cars didn't. Orion, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but they're all connected. They're all connected together. The ice was going faster than the whole train. Carlin is and will forever be the greatest thing to have to be associated with Thomas, except for Audrey. 25 does what it wants. Except for have the Polar Express brand. Oh, it's going all right, Mr. Railyard. I hope you're having a good new year. I know I am. I'm glad to be here. It's taken. I've taken like half of all the, half of the last like 8 weeks. I've taken the Thursdays off just due to extenuating circumstances. Not like bad extenuating circumstances, but still. Alright, let's put this here, I guess. I don't really know what to do with this. I kind of want to make like a plantation sort of dealio. And so like a carriage house back here. And then like a servant's quarters over here. That's what this could be. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Maybe if I set this even further back from the road, and then have like a gatehouse here, and then have the road wind its way around to it. I mean, I don't really want this to be like a Newport Mansions. That's part of what I'm oh shoot. Part of what I'm thinking, but I want it to be a cross between like a Newport Mansion and Colonial Williamsburg. Especially because I've got these other ones, and I'm not entirely sure what to do with them. Gustav the Railway Gun, is that where this is going? There's a plantation for sale on Zillow that spanned across state lines and was a load of emo for not a lot of land or house. Damn. I mean, ain't that the truth? Also, hi, Dean. Think of it when it's not Christmas train. Christmas, the train just hiss out on the old main because reasons. Okay, let's try to find a spot for this. I want to put that up there, I think. Could I add like a little bit of intrigue in terms of landscape here? I could add like a small hill, like a very small hill, maybe. Little land. Holy crap! 400 acres. You could build 2 foot on that. You should build 2 foot on that. Surveyor Classic. Let's see if I can just do a little bit. See, the one thing. I mean, the many things, but maybe the most impactful thing. That I haven't yet figured out in Surveyor 2.0 is terrain modification. I just don't know how to use those tools at all. And I look at them and I think, wow, this has got to be really powerful. Like, if you figure them out, you should be able to, like, do whatever you want, right? Because the terrain modification tools in Trainz are not very good. They're not terrible, but they're not great. Built in 1842. So one guess as to how that land was managed, at least for about 25 years. I wasn't going to say anything, Dean, but yeah, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. First thought was artillery range? Hold on, I just noticed Mason. I mean, Mason, you can do what you want with your land, I guess. You know, it's the South. I think if you started firing off artillery, they'd be like, oh, it's this, you know, it's a normal day for us. But Dean, does it have like a... Well, actually, no. Most servants' quarters would have been made of wood. Um, and by servants' quarters, I mean slave house. Would have been made of wood, so they probably wouldn't survive. I wanted to know if they had something like this, because there was something for sale on, Zillow Gone Wild. It was one of those things. Also, I will get to how will 2025 look for my channel, Mr. Railyard. I saw that. I'll respond to it in a sec. Because having a servant's quarters like outbuilding. I saw something like that on Zillow or whatever, and I mean it'd be kind of cool, just like on the face of it, right? Um, just like a neat little outbuilding that you could use as a guest house or something, you know. Um, so the idea was this would be like a plantation house that had this whole area, and maybe some of it is still worked. There's a log cabin on the plot and looks suitably old. Okay, maybe that's it then. This building is a little too nice then. This looks sort of like a cross between a Newport mansion and a school and a prison. So I'm gonna... What is this anyway? I'm gonna go put this somewhere else. It's called Manor House. Yeah, I don't know if I would live here. This is an apartment block for vampires. Sending the in-laws to the servants' quarters. Yeah. Yeah, an in-law suite. Honestly, 400 acres, right? I'll put this over here. 400 acres of land in the south, in the middle of nowhere. Artillery range, maybe. Drive tanks. Own tanks. Purchase tanks and drive them. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Live in the cabin and turn the big house into a giant model railroad. Oh, God, yeah. But, to answer the question of what's in store for 2025... That's a really good question. There are some special events, or at least one that I can think of, that's going to happen this year, and is going to be here on the channel, at least to view. But 2025, you know what's funnier than 2024? 2025. We're going to keep making Tolbrand. We're going to keep doing this. A lot of the stuff is going to stay relatively the same, I would imagine, although there isn't much on the channel right now. So, the things that are going to stay the same. This, every Thursday, if I can manage it. Podcast, every other weekend, if I can manage it. And those are the two regular series. There will be more Loco games coming soon-ish, probably within... I'd like to maybe set them up within a month or so. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I just need to wait for a few things to happen. Maybe I won't worry about it until after the Big E. You know what, I'll have this go to here, and then turn into a dirt road. Yeah. Let's find a dirt road. So, more Loco games coming probably within about a month. Well, maybe a month and a half. Give me a month and a half. Maybe another Monday series. I don't know what. I wouldn't expect a return to Game Exchange or the Real List. I know those weren't on this channel, but we don't really have time for those, sadly. I may return to a Monday series like Heist. I'd love to play Merger Mania right now. I've got this to do, though. Maybe after. Monday series like Derail Valley. I'd love to do Derail Valley again. I've been helping playtest the whatchamahoosit mod, the Persistent Jobs mod, which is wonderful. And doing that would be fun, especially once I like finish what I'm doing playtesting for that, and I can just go. You know what? We're gonna have to make sure this road is straight. And the easiest way to do that is probably with a ruler. Let's put that there. Put this here, and then just like go straight out. I don't know what the degree was, but we can see. Okay, so I'm a little bit to the left. I need to move it just a little bit to the right, and yeah, the road is totally crooked. How about there? There's an easier way to do this in Surveyor 2, but it works best if you're just extending a singular spline and not what I'm trying to do here. Um, so, you know, I'll just do it. I'll do it this way. Um, what'd you get, DT? And then in October, this is going to be a very special live stream um, because I'm getting married. You know, if everything holds. Uh, there will be a live stream of the ceremony. At least I'm going to try to set that up. I've had some good ideas on how to set it up. Incidentally, thanks to our minister, who I just sort of tossed the idea at. She had some thoughts. Chat gonna be wild, yeah. Let's do that. So I do want all this to be trees, but I'll leave a carve-out space for this house. Yeah. Other than that, it should be business as usual. I don't have a lot of grand plans, which, you know, I'm not one for having grand plans these days when it comes to channel shenanigans, because I ain't got time for that, sadly. Not sure if I saw, but yes, I did see. I'm excited for that. I really hope you can do something fun with that. Okay, let's see. Wallstone Farm. How does this look? I mean, this is not the kind of stone wall that I really wanted. Like, I want something... This is also too nice. That's cool. No. I want something, like, rough, you know? Graystone, darkstone, brownstone, clean brownstone. I need a classic New England stone wall, and that's not what's here. None of these things are that. This is probably the closest thing, but this is definitely England and not New England. CMU is in anywhere I can post a picture of it. I don't know if you're in the server, if you have fan rank, you can post it in well, I guess that would be real model railroading, or you can put it in streaming and recording, and I'll see it there eventually. Or you can put it in foam pit if you are unranked. Let's just run this wall all the way down to here. I'm not entirely sure what to do with it, but yeah, Old England. I mean, really though. That's a kind of a cool thing though, like how it goes over a hill there. These are the subtle terrain changes that are real, that are, you know, difficult to model, shall we say. I do want to create an opening in the wall here, or opening in the sidewalk. But yeah, I mean, my Christmas was pretty solid. I had a very Bruce Springsteen themed Christmas, and I don't know if that was intentional necessarily. I mean, all three of the Bruce Springsteen gifts were given by the same person. But you know, when you're 28 years old, you don't necessarily get a ton of gifts from a ton of people. It's just sort of the way that works. But Gloria got me not Born to Run, Darkness on the Edge of Town on vinyl, which is my favorite Springsteen album. I think I'm biased, but I think it's his best. And Renegades, which is the book that Springsteen wrote with Obama. And that's pretty cool. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to read that book. And then my Secret Santa, also Gloria, got me a book entitled Everything I Needed to Know I Learned from Bruce Springsteen. So it was a very Springsteen Christmas. And I was, you know, it was happy. It was very busy, though. I did 3 Christmases for the first time in as long as I can remember. It's the first time since both my grandparents were alive, which was only a couple of years ago. But uh, you know, it's not something that I was doing very much. Um, yeah, Renegades. I mean, it looks to be cool. I'm excited to read that. They also did a podcast. I don't know where I can listen to that, but I would. Meanwhile, my whole podcast folder on my computer just deleted itself because the drive it's on is dying. It's starting to die, and I need to replace it. I've been talking to the guys making the aux tenders, and it seems like progress is happening. They're just waiting on parts to arrive, thanks to the Canadian postal strikes. Oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully they. I think that's getting resolved? Question mark. I don't have a window on the Canadian postal system. Um, Remember, the post office is the most based organization imaginable. Don't let anything bad happen to it. Um, and mail carriers have like a really crappy job. Let's face it. Um, I think so. I think I want to have like a. Yeah, okay. Let's do this for now. Like a long, wide driveway of gravel that leads from the carriage house to the thing here, as if you could just come right out. And then I'm gonna make a break in this, and we're gonna fill that in with like chain link fence. Ellis asking for a friend. Could I take the Rio Grande and the Deutsche Bahn? It's historically accurate. Trust I have proof. It's an NW Cold Cars you got with the Christmas bonus. That's cool. Anybody else get anything fun for Christmas? I didn't get any model trains, and I'm not planning on getting more model trains, but, I'll just lose the game. Not that game. The game of he who dies with the most trains. Actually, maybe I can find like an iron fence. I got a knife. Cool. 2816 for trains. I got nothing, but I'm gonna fix that this year. That's a bummer. You got nothing. Go out and get yourself something. Have a Christmas. Okay, so we'll call this closed off. I've been tuning in and out of this stream. Have I missed anything? I'm building like a plantation, I guess. You haven't really missed much. We're just hanging out. It's a normal Thursday night. It's not really normal for me because Gloria is nowhere to be found. Gloria's out. Gloria's hanging out with her friend. So I'm lonely. What the hell? East, what the hell? Okay. No, those are captured. They're captured premiums. Have I seen the next update coming to Trainz? No, I haven't. What is in store for us? I didn't realize there was anything fun on the horizon with regard to Trainz. Not a Christmas gift, but I ordered some DVDs, one Aviation and one on the MKT. So I want to put some trees here, but I don't. So I want this to still be, farmland. At least out to somewhere. I mean, this is the area where I've stopped doing terrain. This, and then this. Because this is all going to be trees. In fact, let's, maybe we can fill some, if not all of this in. Maybe this can be our next goal. I also need to get this river done, which, that's going to be its own problem. Did I give up on this water? Does it just end here, or? No, it just ends here. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm I'm going to increase the radius. I'm going to extend the water this way. And we might not stick to exactly this, but we'll run the water off that way. And then we shall height down, medium radius, low sensitivity, just sort of coax the water down this way. It's going to take some doing, but if we can get this river done, I'm going to be relatively happy with myself anyway. I got a bunch of like books and stuff from the free books shelf at the Providence Northern. When I was there with Gloria recently, we grabbed a bunch of VHSs, which, you know, what are you gonna do, right? I know I've talked about it before, but I have a bunch of like random VHS tapes that I got off of the free books shelf. Not even train related stuff, just like whatever. I think there's a copy of Rain Man on VHS in there, which incidentally is half of the reason for my original username. Well, my second to original username. Not Bombs321. That's the first username I ever gave myself. On RuneScape. And then I lost that account for one reason or another. I don't know. I just couldn't log back into it. Probably being a kid, like I had mistyped the password and thought, oh my god, my account got hacked, it's gone. And so I just went and made another one. Because it was, you know, within like a day of playing. I probably just forgot the password. And then I was like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I do as a username? And the idea of, like, I'd heard of Rain Man. Like, I heard like a news thing about Rain Man, not the movie, but the actual person. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm smart like Rain Man, and also kind of special. And then I thought, no, I can't call myself Rain Man. That's super pretentious. That's extremely immodest. I thought to my 13-year-old self. Actually, probably younger than that. Those obviously were not the words that bounced around in my head, but I thought, like, I did think that calling myself that would be inappropriate. And I said to myself, well, self, what if you call yourself Train Man, but you capitalize the R? So it's like calling yourself Rain Man, but it's not quite as immodest because it's, like, hidden a little, you know? You're kind of keeping that part to yourself. And I'm sure I thought I was a genius for doing that, which made me want to do Rain Man even more. It turns out I'm not a genius, but, you know, I went with Train Man 96, as one does, the year of one's birth. You know, because, you know, that's information that you want to give away, like, in your username. You want to make sure that the scammers don't even have to ask you for it. In fact, if you want to do even better, you should definitely put in, like, your social security, like, your whole username should just be your social security number, like, the name of your first pet, your mother's maiden name, like, your entire credit card number, including the 3 numbers on the back. No, obviously, this is terrible advice. Don't do this. If you need me to tell you not to do that, I'm sorry, but you might be too far gone. But, like, don't give out your information to strangers on the internet, and maybe don't put aspects of, the internet is very different than the internet that I grew up with. Maybe don't put aspects of, like, your private self in a username if you care about your private self. But, like, definitely don't put, you know, stuff out there that people could use to get into your bank account. Growing up, right, it was, don't share personal information on the internet, like, ever with anyone. You know, don't go out to meet people on the internet, which, oops, all of my friends are on the internet now. And then, like, Facebook happened, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, put your name on the internet. Just do it. Just put your name on the internet. Put all the pictures of your family and your friends and what you're doing. Make sure to tell the burglars when you're going to leave the house for 2 weeks to go on vacation. And also, remember how we said that Wikipedia, like, don't go there, it's full of misinformation? It's, like, the only good website left. It's the only good website left. Um, and that's crazy. Anyway, donate to Wikipedia. They deserve it. Um, yeah, I met Pat this. Yeah, Pat, we met for the first time this year. Um, don't meet people on the internet. Now you get in the car with a stranger from the internet. That's true. Yeah, and you know, this has been a paradigm shift. This has been a complete paradigm shift in the way we treat the internet and anonymity and like connections with people. And I mean, it definitely. I'm not even gonna say like it sped up because of COVID. We were already there. Um, but like when people figured out that you could use the internet to order a ride, and it's like, oh yeah, Uber. Yeah, just get in a car with a stranger. It's fine. And like I'll riff on that, but it's not like I won't do it. You know, I'll do it. Um, I've done it. I don't like to do it because it's inefficient. Like I'd rather take the bus. Uh, but sometimes I don't have an extra hour. Um, okay, there we go. I kind of want to put in like a little wooden bridge over this at its narrowest point. Um, I'll avoid it because I'm a cheapskate and I know what it's like to be the driver. Oh yeah, and I mean it's expensive too. It's expensive too. It's expensive. It's exploitative. It is like not environmentally friendly, and it's like the only upside of it is it's a point to point sort of thing that you can use when you're drunk and you don't want to kill 17 children on the way home. Um, Hopefully Lyft loses. What is the Lyft lawsuit about? Um, I assume something to do with contractors because everyone who drives for ride sharing just gets absolutely shafted. Um, it's like, oh, why didn't someone come up with like a free one? And it's like, well, because these things cost like a gajillion dollars to maintain. About rates and benefits. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. No, I think like we need some pro labor stuff for friggin' people that are gonna get forced into the gig economy because like they're taking away the jobs and replacing them with gig economy. Well, no, not people want to drive for free. No, I'm not saying like a free version like that. I'm saying like something with no overhead. Um, I'm not saying like people should get rides for free. I'm saying that I wish it was not a multi-bajillion dollar industry that can just exploit like I wish all the money from from all this stuff could just go like straight into uh could just go straight into the driver's pocket, instead of a middleman, an exploitative middleman. But you can't do that because somebody's got to maintain the app. Um, yeah, I did shave Mopac. I got fed up with that thing on my face. It's gonna come back though. I'm too lazy to keep it like this, and I wouldn't want to even if I wasn't. Uh, I don't like driving. People drive terribly in Oklahoma. Be like those people that put up signs advertising that you can just call them and they'll come pick you up. Yeah, I've always kind of wanted to do that with like roadside assistance. Like I wanted to become roadside assistants somehow. Like if we ever do register the Iron Horseman Company, which I should get around to that one of these days, as like an actual company, um, then I would love to like throw in the services roadside assistance, and then strap a couple of amber lights to my wagon, and just go. Because that'd be kind of funny. Because you can't just strap rotating amber lights to things that are regular civilian vehicles. At least in the state of Rhode Island, they kind of get upset at you for that. I did look it up. Um, but if you are, like a tow truck sort of thing, then you can do that. You can do that. Um, I would like to VC with you. share my work in progress routes. I mean, I'm around on the Discord sometimes. You can always catch me during playdates and that sort of jazz. But I don't even. I barely have time to do one-on-one with like my best friends. Um, if I did route reviews still, I wish I did route reviews still. Sometimes. They were always fun. They were always kind of a headache, but you know, uh, looks like it's bust for you. Hey yo. Um, I've lost all confidence in my ability to fix a car. Well, it's hard. I mean, you need a Tony. Everyone needs a Tony. I texted Tony before New Year's about doing some little work on the 940, and he didn't get back to me. So, uh, I'll bother him later. It's not urgent. Uh, you could buy a Volvo and use the plantation artillery range on it. No, no, no. Mount artillery to it. Um, no, we should be an actual railroad. We need to buy the mine, Loki. Okay. I need to see how far up the slope I'm gonna have trees. Oh well, I'm gonna have trees all the way up the slope. What am I saying? Um, and let's see. Mr. East Rail. uh, the Iron Horse Railroad is like the worst lore I've ever written. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. Uh, millwork estimation doesn't pay nearly enough to pay for a plantation. Wah wah. I mean, if you get the tank in advance, then like just go there and then it's yours. Um, it reminds me of an old meme that's like, I want a tank. Well, then just buy a tank. Well, use your credit cards to buy a tank. But the the credit card companies will come after me. Oh, don't be silly. You have a tank. Um, City started road in October. The road isn't paved yet, but most of the work is done. I think that the unpaved road broke my already fixed suspension. Yikes. Um, I don't know about where you are, but around here, I think if you can prove that road work or like lack thereof damaged your vehicle, you can get money out of the state. Because we live in America and we're a very litigious country. Um, I just noticed there's graffiti on the back of this building. Oh, there's graffiti on the front of the building too. Okay, I probably owning a tank is protected under 2A, and the government is wrong for keeping it from me. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. I'm sure nothing will happen. I'm literally in a tank, and you're not. Okay, let's see about doing the grass along the edges here. Also, it's 8:30. I guess I'm working on the plantation stuff for the hour of 8 o'clock. But don't ask the ATF why they have tanks. Listen, the only person that can stop a bad guy with a tank is a good guy with a tank. Anyway, see, it gets quiet because my fan powered down. It was going ham when I was doing texturing, and now it's quiet. And so it like leaves me in contemplative thought, in contemplative mimi thought. But I guess we're doing this for the hour of 8 o'clock, and then when we get to 9 o'clock, I should probably go do something else so that I don't get stuck. But this has been a pretty good day for workflow, which is always good. Hit, hammer while the iron is hot, right? Or strike while the iron is hot. If you have inspiration to do something, you should do it. Just don't go beyond reasonable lengths to pursue that inspiration. Maybe keep some of it bottled up to use for next time, if you can. For now, if I wrap this up, and if I don't get like the actual plantation area done, which I'm not going to get done, I would think, in the next half an hour. Um, then we can come back to it, and I can remember, yeah, this is what I was working on. We'll pick up from there. Um, and I know that I pointed out those other 3 blocks over by the oil tanks. That's something we'll have to do later. Now, something else that we do have to do, and I don't have my notes open, which I should probably do. Oh, I need to write down some other notes. Shoot. I forgot. I was doing stuff, and I got distracted. Give me a second. Need to go to my desktop. Need to go to text documents. Where's my Derail Valley persistent job notes? And then, oh, excuse me. S060 on D4. I found the 060 demonstrator in Derail Valley right before we started here, which means I found both of the steam engines and 3 of the diesels, 2 of the diesels. How many engines are there? I thought there were 6, but there are 5, right? There's the there are 6. I'm forgetting the DM3. Haven't found the DM3. Haven't found the DE6. I found and restored the DH4, which is probably my favorite engine in the game, and it's definitely my favorite engine right now because I restored that. Trainz Street, I'll answer that question. What I can tell you is do the tutorial. But I have more to say about Derail Valley. Is this technically texture, or is this technically speaking lack of texture? And I'm not asking that from like is a hot dog a sandwich sort of point of view. I'm asking if I go over here and I go to Surveyor 2.0 and I go to this and I do scrapbook data, scroll down, I hit this and I filter this to texture overwrite. Oh, sorry, texture. Oh no, it's overwrite or none. Okay, that's why. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Anyway. Ooh, hardwood floors. Hardwood floors are the best. If I had my version of the Iron Horseman, it would run from Chicago, Illinois to Detroit, MN, with connections with the CNR, CPR, GTW, PRR, New York Central, and others. I think you mean Detroit, MI, right? MN is Minneapolis. Oh, Minneapolis is not a state. Minnesota. Anyway, I was just wondering, I needed to clarify because if there is another Detroit I do not know about, then that's twice as many jokes we can make. Minnesota. Yeah, well, I found and restored the diesel hydraulic, which, you know, favorite locomotive in the game, arguably best locomotive in the game, simplest to drive, like medium everything, and it has, unlike the DE2, which is ostensibly the simplest to drive, it has dynamic brakes, which are very nice. And they work really well. I think they work better than the DE6s, at least to scale. Like, they work unusually well. And it's not too expensive to run, and it can haul, you know, pretty much any singular job wherever you need it to go. I like it. So that's the one I found, incidentally, like, luckily, that's the one I found first. And it also, then, by consequence, is the one that I restored first. And that is pretty cool. That I liked a lot. It's basically got a Conrail paint scheme. It's blue with 2 white stripes. I can't not think of it as a Conrail diesel hydraulic. And also, found the Mikado right away. Didn't restore it because I'm not a huge fan of the Mikado in Derail Valley. I need to get used to it. I'm just not very good at driving it, so I haven't... I didn't really have much steam experience in general in DV, because I stuck to the diesels for a long time, because if you guys remember a long time ago when I used to try to play, or when I recorded it, not the most recent time, but before that, I think. I could not get in the cab of the 060. The physics on the whistle cord was too much for my computer. It was unplayable. Um, Maybe I didn't record that, but either way, I could not drive the 282 until recently, until I upgraded my computer maybe a year ago now. And I've been getting better at running Steam, but Steam is woof. It's a learning curve. It's a big deal. There's a lot that's modeled there that you don't have to worry about in other games, and it's the kind of thing where, you know, in Trainz, for example, and like I'll exclude Railroader from this because you don't have to do any firing in Railroader, but like Trainz and MSTS even, and Open Rails, I would imagine, you can get away with running a steam locomotive by yourself because the firing is really easy, because everything is really easy. Like firing's a full-time job. Firing is there's an entire dude whose job it is to do that in a steam locomotive. I'm not sure if you guys know. It's a guy or a gal or a non-binary individual who whose job it is to put coal in the hole and watch the boiler and keep it from going kablooey and keep it from filling up with water too much and exploding the cylinders, and also making sure that you have steam when you need it but not too much, and etc., etc., etc. Getting to do the little ride along on 3025 that I got to do a few weeks back was maybe not an eye-opening experience because I knew it was a hell of a gig, but like I paid more attention to the firing there than I ever have, and boy, is there a lot to it. I was like, Century of Steam will be out sometime in my lifetime, so I should probably get a handle on this now. With any luck, right? So I didn't do a lot of driving of the steam engine. One, because it just did not work. I couldn't do it. And B, because it was kind of scary. It's a lot to do. It's a lot of work. I was like, I don't know if I'm up for this, right? But I did, and then I used the 060 a bunch. Like, I sat down with the 060 and I used it for like 3 days straight, which, considering how much I play games, is not all that much time. But, no, I haven't caught up with the devlogs from COS. I'm still like 3 or 4 behind. I'm sorry, I just haven't had time. I want to, but whatever. I'll pick Mark's brain in like a month. I'll see him at the Big E. But I know they did. I've seen what stuff has been talked about. I haven't been privy to all the details in the devlogs. So sadly, I cannot talk about them. Steam's a big deal. It's a lot of work. So I was a scurd. Eventually, yeah, I used the 060 for, 3 days straight, which was quite a bit of work. Got reasonably acquainted, just to enough to understand all the mechanics. But enough to understand all the mechanics, but not enough to understand all the mechanics, but not enough to like use them effectively. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Mark's going to be at the Big E. I don't know in what capacity. I don't know if he's going to be like tooling around or if he's going to have a booth or something. I haven't inquired as to what his schedule is. I invited him out to Steaming Tender on Sunday. I don't know if he's going to be able to come to that. But it's not a time for meet and greet, so don't go storming the Steaming Tender and like, hi Mark. We're going to be wanting to eat our food. At any rate, if that was secret knowledge, you didn't hear it from me. Anyway, oh hi Mark. But yeah, no, I'm sure I'll be able to talk COS with him when that comes around. There's some other stuff that's in the pipe with the other 3/4 of an idiot, or with the 3/4 of an idiot, of which I am an unofficial quarter, as has been noted. We're gonna do, and I don't see why I shouldn't be able to publicly announce this. Actually, I don't know how far in advance Mark telegraphs his stuff. I don't follow his antics that closely. I am going to be hosting a Merger Mania game with him on this coming Wednesday, so Wednesday the 8th. I'm going to be streaming my perspective. He's going to be streaming his perspective, I believe. I don't know if anybody else is going to be streaming, but it's going to be with Jersey and some of those folks. So we'll see. Yeah, that should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I wanted to get Mark in on the Loco games, but everyone's excited to play Merger Mania. So maybe if I can prove myself with this, then more fun things will follow, or maybe we'll just play Merger Mania again. But yeah, I've done a lot of work on Merger Mania over the past few days. Every time I look at it, it gets more like I find more things I want to change. It's terrible, like terrible not in the bad sense, but terrible in like it grips me sort of sense. Like I will start fiddling around with Merger Mania, and it will become my entire world for 2 or 3 days. Uh, so yeah, like Gloria knows how I get. I'll just sit here and like whinge about how to move things around, and then it's quite a labor intensive thing. Um, hey, I didn't say we shouldn't do Merger Mania tonight. Uh, I don't disagree. I'll do it. I'll do it when I'm done with this. I'll do it at 10. I don't have anything else going on tonight. Um, and East, let me tell you, I'm sure lots of people would love to jump in on a you know Merger Mania or anything with Heist. Um, this is confined to Jersey's server, and I don't have any control over who's going into it. Um, what are the odds Heist will stop by the PN booth? Don't want to be pushy, but gotta ask. I mean, I'll probably tell him where I am. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him, but again, I have no idea what his schedule is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna like be doing talks, like doing, like I don't know what. They have like the little conference events sort of thing at the Big E where somebody gets up and talks about XYZ on a little stage. I don't know where that is. I've never been to one of those, but I've heard the announcements for them. Um, Honestly, I don't have any information other than I'm pretty sure he's coming with some bodyguards, so to speak, and maybe we'll see him. Maybe I'll see him. I don't know. I hope so. Um, am I able to hang out at the PN booth if I'm not volunteering at it? Yeah, I mean, you've got more of a stake. You've got more of a claim to it than. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to fill this in. You've got more to a claim to it than the non-volunteers that sometimes I'll drag with me over there. Why did I do this? I didn't need to do that. Else gets 1 month early access to COS because I'm playing Merger Mania with Heist. I mean, no. I mean, if Mark wants to see how well the game runs on an extraordinarily low-end system, I actually wonder if I'm gonna be below the minimum requirements for Century of Steam. I would not be surprised. I would actually be surprised if my computer is within minimum requirements. And I'm gonna get I'm gonna make some adjustments soon. Um, I think I'm getting a whole nother computer, which might have some parts I'll fit into this one for upgrade's sake. I'm not GPU limited. I'm CPU limited, which means I've got to swap out the whole motherboard and CPU and everything, which is a tremendous, tremendous headache. Um, uh, you know, One of these days I'm going to find something that just won't fit in here and we'll have to get a new case, but until then, keeping the same case. Um, and ground height, none. Textures, overwrite. Meshes, overwrite. Splines, none. Effect layers, none. But yeah, I bet I'm gonna be below. I'm gonna be below minimum specs. There's no way I'm not. Um, how do I? Okay. Why am I not? Nope. No, no. Stop. Don't do that. I've broken it. Okay. Whatever. Um. Does this look weird if I... No, it doesn't. Okay. If I don't spin it. Um, Railroader on about, but max graphics look terrible. Uh, I I run Railroader on like minimum settings, especially when we have to run the Franan, because oh my god, that railroad is a menace. It's tremendous. It's crazy. It's huge. I like the Iron Horseman save. It's very small, the one that we use for the community playdates when people just say Railroader. Um, it's still a meager size and it has no mods, so there's no headache. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you guys ever want to play Railroader, hit it up in community playdate. Um, and that's the other thing, when I'm playing Railroader on minimal settings for the Franan, I'm not leaving the dispatch booth. I live there. I'm a dispatch gremlin. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. Railroad looks like a beast of a game. It's a good game. It's a good game. I wouldn't describe it as a beast. I don't think it's beastly. It's a decent game. It runs fine. Um, and it has an engaging gameplay loop. It is basically a railroad management simulator and switching puzzle generator. That's kind of about it. There's not much to the driving. There's some, but there's not much. Um, like I said, there's no firing. Uh, and to come back to the thought from earlier about Derail Valley, there's no firing in Derail Valley. Um, and uh, sorry, there's no firing in Railroader, and Derail Valley, it's all your job. It's all your job. Um, the Iron Horseman save is probably less chaotic than the Edaville and South Station. It's pretty unchaotic. Um, let's do this. Let's just fill in the forest around here. Um, Edaville South Station saves Derailment Central. Well, so is the Franan. Um, so. Um, yeah. Railroader, there's no firing, which is nice for a game that, really the focus is not on driving. Uh, and Au contraire, in Derail Valley, there's a lot of firing. But the thing is, Trainz, MSTS, and even like some Railworks, I'd imagine. I haven't really ever played Railworks. I've played a tiny bit. Uh, your firing's pretty limited, and your train driving is also pretty limited. The stuff isn't all simulated. The physics aren't all perfect, and the firing comes down to, do you have enough coal and do you have enough water in your locomotive? That's it. That's pretty much it. You don't need to worry about necessarily piling, setting a fire right for about to go up a hill. There's, or sitting in a station and popping off. Like, these aren't concerns. And they aren't necessarily concerns in Derail Valley either. Well, the second one isn't. But the first one absolutely is. Excuse me. If Railroader is driving on easy mode, and like Trainz is driving on like medium mode, Derail Valley is driving on hard mode, because you're doing the job of two people. You're doing the job of two people in a single player game. And there's not too many ways to slice that to make it less egregious. You just need to be good at managing a lot of things. And Derail Valley sort of puts that in your hands and says, yeah, figure it out. You know, yeah, it's hard. Figure it out. Um, so, you know, that's what I can say about DV. Get ready for a hell of a learning curve when you go to do stuff. I mean, you're gonna. Oh shoot! Ah shoot! Now it's dark. Hold on. Edit session. Restart all rules. Oh shoot! Hold on. Nope. Edit session. Restart all rules. Yes. RO's running on frustrating mode. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rare is online as well, right? I mean, you just have to worry about making sure there's enough fuel in your locomotive. That's it. Um, I'm sorry, I keep getting sidetracked here with all sorts of stuff. The thing I'm trying to get to is that Derail Valley. You have a lot to pay attention to. You have a lot to pay attention to, and uh, and that's what scared me away from driving the steam engines for a while. And then I did it, and then I understand the systems, but I don't understand, like, I'm not proficient, or even close. And running the 060 is pretty, low stakes. But running the 282 is not low stakes. Um, and the way you progress through the game, I mean, I'd recommend playing on normal your first time through. I like playing on realistic, but if you want to have a longer game, just turn the rewards down a little bit, like make a custom difficulty realistic, turn the rewards down. People talk about turning the jump distance back up, which is fine. I don't really, it doesn't bother me, the little short hops that you can do in realistic mode. It just means that the faster you mash it, the faster you can run, and your train can genuinely get away from you. Like, having your speed limited like that is something that is genuinely useful. Or not useful, but it adds to the immersion, it adds to the experience. At least to me. And then, yeah, I mean, and not knowing your place on the map, that's something that's up to the individual. But if you have the caboose, then you can always see your place on the map. There are enough tools in Derail Valley that you can, aside from running the steam engines, you can do a pretty good job of managing to do multiple jobs at once. And even then, it's not as actually labor intensive as running an actual steam locomotive with one person instead of two. Mostly because you're not actually running around and you can carry everything in your inventory, and, the shovel is always right there. So, it kept me from doing the steam engine, so I didn't restore the 282 as soon as I found it. Restored the DH4. Then I found the DE2, and I haven't restored that yet. The next thing I restore is probably going to be the 060. I like the 060. So I'll drag that back to the museum and work on it. I kind of want to restore the diesel mechanical if I find it, but I have a soft spot for that thing, even though it's hard to drive. Like, it is not forgiving. It will give you, like, you can move the earth with it, but it is not forgiving. Is there any gameplay advantage to restoring locos? Actually, yes. There are some disadvantages, but there are advantages. One is those locomotives are yours. It all stems around that. Those locomotives are yours. You own them. You can spawn them with the remote for, I think, $2,500. It might depend on the locomotive. So it's actually pretty inexpensive to spawn them. You can spawn them wherever you need them, and they will show up exactly as they are. And the customizations that you do with them always stay on them. So, like, all the customization stuff that they've added to the game in the most recent update seems kind of silly and goofy and dumb. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I I did even like the most basic thing. I added an LED speedometer to my diesel hydraulic, and it's so much nicer to not have to zoom in on the speedometer all the time. It's a big deal. It's very helpful. Um, yeah. Rebuilding them into cursed masterpieces. Exactly. Um, what do they add? So they added um, like all sorts of gadgets and things that you can put on the inside of your engine, and stuff that you can put on the outside too. I mean, you can put anything anywhere, but like for the exterior, they added stuff like lights. They added flags. They added light bars. Um, they added like hooks to hang lanterns. Um, I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff, but I haven't found all of it. It's all scattered in different shops across the world. On the inside, they added a whole bunch of little tech to help you through your day. There's a switch thing, like that will automatically throw the next switch ahead of you or behind you. Um, I think you can do class lights. I'm not sure if the big lights you can grab are like you can change their color. That would be nice though. You could put hooks and then hang lanterns on them for class lights if you wanted. Although I think you're limited to red and white lanterns. Not entirely sure. Um, at any rate, um, yeah, you've got stuff like LED speedometer, clinometer. Those are the two that I have in my DH4 now. A thing to throw switches, a road runner, which tells you how far you've gone since you marked it. Um, a let's see, what else can I think of? There's a bunch of gadgets. There's a whole bunch of gadgets, and I don't use most of them. I haven't found a use for them yet. Um, I haven't found and bought and installed all of them yet. And then there's like switches you can use to actuate the things. Like you could put lights on the front of your engine and set them up to a thing so that they flash like ditch lights. That's something that I've seen people do, and that's pretty neat. Um, Not something I would probably bother with doing, but something that's interesting. Personally, I think I'm going to add another cab light behind my head that I can turn on when I'm driving, uh, especially at night, so that I can have like a reading light, basically. If I'm holding up the map or something, it won't be in the dark. It's like an electronic brake gauge to help you with that. There is a gadget that prevents wheel slip by automatically lowering your throttle. That's a good one. I haven't used that one, but it's good. But there are all these things that you can hook up to your locomotive. It's pretty damn cool. Um, or hook up or like mount on your locomotive, I guess is what I'm saying. Um, hmm. Is there an electronic steam gauge like some Crown metals have? No, I don't think so. Um, I don't think so. Most of the stuff, I would imagine it's not super tailored for use with the steam engine, although it should all work. Um, I wonder if the electronic gadgets work in the steam engine if you have the dynamo off. I would imagine not, but that would be an interesting little oversight. Um, because you do have to wire them in. Oh, shoot. No, I wanted this to be straight like this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. That's better. You know what? I want some Jersey barriers. Yeah, there we go. Also, it's a Jersey bumper, apparently. Um, so what I said about Mark, keep it on the DL. Keep it on the down low, please. Don't need chaos unfolding. I know I've said it out loud on the internet, but, you know, whatever. There's only like 10 people here. Including me. And if you count Venkman over there, that makes 10. Okay, so we did this. That's nice. Now we've got, like, this block. This chunk right here, this is like a goal. This is, exactly. Thank you, Orion. This is a goal right here. Oh, that's water. I was like, did I miss bits with grid? Um, so on this side of, so we've got these two rivers, right? I think we should aim to get the stuff on this side of these rivers taken care of in relatively short order, you know, within a few weeks or whatever. Um, because I mean, this is going to be where we get bogged down. This is going to be kind of a pain. This I have no idea what to put here, and this is probably going to be mostly trees. Same with this. So I don't think that two rivers needs five rivers. It needs at least three rivers. Stadium. Oh, you know what? Can we add a fuel loading rack or unloading rack here? Oil. JJS oil filler. What about an oil unfiller? Oh, that's not what I want. Search filter. I just want to find. Really? Oh, this is all track, not rack. I need like a oil unloading rack or something. I'm surprised there's nothing. Wait, refinery rack. Bankman, stop that. That is the couch. Do not claw up this couch. You can go claw up the other couch. That one I don't care about. This one, don't mess up. Stop it. Look at him. Look at that guilty son of a gun. He's got his paw on the side of the cushion. Bankman. Yeah. Yeah, that's him. Hey! Don't you start again. Anyway. That Spur is asking for an abandoned section across the street. I won't lie to you, I already have like 3 of those over here, so I don't want to do another one. I've got this one. I've got this all the way down here. Like, all the way down here. And then I've got... There's one of them over here, too. No, I can't allow Vangman to continue, Pat. This lounge over here was given to me by my mom, and she already does not like cats, so if, like, the thing that she gave me gets clawed up by the cat, she's never gonna forgive him. Even though she secretly loves cats. And I say that because when she comes over, there is no... Oh, this is not what I want. There's, like, no lack of aversion to the cat. Like, if she wasn't allergic to cats, she would have a bunch of cats. I swear to God. It'd be even funnier if she jumped in on here to hear me say that, because I know she jumps in on here sometimes. Shinkansen stuff. I wonder how I got that. No. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna save this and then jump on the DLS really quick. Save. Save. And then oil Let me just go filter download station. You're coming with me this time, because I don't know what I'm looking for. I need... Oh, you know what? There's probably one that's... Hold on. Dock oil tanks, no. Fuel oil dock. Well, that's kind of cool. I think I've used that, like, here. Oil company, overhead sign, steel corp, oil shed, lighthouse, Cape Hatteras, oil house. That's a really cute little building. I like that. I should use that. Oil terminal. This is a loader and not an unloader. Well, I mean, I guess it could be an unloader. It would just suck stuff out of the bottom of the tank car. Oil loading rack. Yeah, so, well, let's go with this then. And I'm going to push these tracks closer together because they're really far apart right now. Let's try to center those over the car if we can, at least a little bit. And then we'll grab another one in Surveyor 2.0 and switch back to Trainz screen. Oh, you know what? These have a stair. These have stairs at one end. What if I spin this one 180 degrees? That does not feel like 180 degrees. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Okay, let's scoot this one in towards the track. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what's the lore behind the Gilson Eastern, or whatever you call it officially? I mean, the lore behind the Gilson Eastern is it is a conglomeration of two other railroads. And why there was a merger there, I have not yet said. I don't know. It might have been because they were going to bankruptcy, or just because they felt like it was a good merger to make. Which it was a smart end-to-end merger. The northern end of the... Or sorry, the northern side of the peninsula. I've got to fix this. Northern side of the peninsula, which is where we are now, had the Jefferson and Gilson Railroad, which is one of the older railroads on the peninsula. I think maybe third oldest at best. Not, not like oldest, but up there. I think the second oldest railroad on the peninsula was a 2-foot gauge railroad on Setter's Island on the south side of the peninsula. And then the oldest railroad would have been out of Gilson City. Oh man, my tuchus is sore from sitting in this chair. But yeah, the Jefferson and Gilson was like the third oldest railroad on the peninsula. The I think it might have been the Gilson Southern. I don't actually remember the name of the other railroad. I'm gonna have to go and look that up. I might have written it down somewhere. But it so the Jefferson and Gilson was one of these roads that was sort of built in one fell swoop as like a we're gonna get all the way there sort of thing. They built from Jefferson, which let's point north. They built from Jefferson, which is up here somewhere, to Gilson City, which is down there somewhere. And then eventually they merged with the other railroad that did sort of the same thing on the south side, um, built from uh, Gilson City south to Wambeck and beyond, or vice versa. And they merged and became the Gilson Eastern. They are the biggest railroad on the peninsula, and it's not even really close. Um, Let me see if I can pull this up really quick, though. Olive. Now, let's drive. Let me go to Tolbrand. Nope, that's not Tolbrand. Tolbrand. The wiki. Olive. There might be something in here. Modern Gilson Eastern Railroad. I don't. Jefferson was merged with another railroad. Okay, yeah, I didn't specify. So the railroad on the south side of the peninsula is not named, um, in the lore yet. Anyway. But yeah, all right. So it's 9:10. You guys are asking lore questions. I'll pull up the map. I haven't done it in a minute, so let's do it. Pictures, maps, Tolbrand map.pdn. The only reason I ask is because I need more ideas to add to the Connecticut Eastern. Well, the Gilson Eastern, or the Connecticut Northwestern rather. So let's talk about where we are and what this is and where we're going. So let's turn on screen. Here's the peninsula as we know it. This is all the land that we've built so far. Just about. There might be a few more tiles in there now. The Gilson Eastern is the blue line where you can see it. It's up here, and then it goes all the way over here to Gilson City, and then it goes all the way down. It comes across here, across Setter Island, across the Cove, down into Wambeck, and continues south to New DMAG. The original railroad, like the oldest railroad on the entire peninsula, was probably right around here, in this very industrialized area around Saugus. New England people will know that name. The second oldest railroad is this one here that goes across the island. This was the Setter Springs Railway. It was 2-foot gauge. A tiny piece of it remains part of the Emden, Tombstone, and Gulf, which is this brown 2-foot gauge system, which is garbage, and I've talked about it before. The Gilson Eastern was built, this part was built as the Jefferson and Gilson, Jefferson to Gilson City. It was built in, like, the mid to late 1800s in the way that it is currently. It was rebuilt after there was a massive hurricane in 1878. So this was built probably pieced together out of a couple different railroads for whatever this railroad was down here, and then they merged to become a contiguous north-south system. It was probably under... I need to check the timeline, but it may have been due to posturing by the green here, which is the Volga Mountains Railroad. At any rate, what are we going to do next is we're probably going to complete this loop here. We have up to Doe Cliff. We have into South Bellington here. The next thing I'm probably going to do is get this done to Appleton and to whatever town this is, and then back down to Doe Cliff. I might do all that as one piece, because we did Mason's Landing to Bellington more or less as one piece. My original intent was to use something that TJ made for Appleton. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. But I might take inspiration from it anyway. And then maybe this, actually. You know, this is sort of a sideshow, right? The purple here, the Mansfield Branch Railroad. But we've thought about it a lot. We relocated the names a few weeks ago if anyone remembers that. Um, Gilson Eastern equals Conrail. Maybe Conrail. Maybe like a. Let's see. What is an actual like functionally large like functional large merger? That's a really good end-to-end merger. I can't even think about them because the good ones you know we don't think about. Um, I can think of SPSF, and it's like that doesn't make any sense. Maybe like some of the UP mergers. Um, at any rate, yeah, it's not like Penn Central. Um, at any rate, yeah, I want to close this gap, and then once we've done that, maybe like aspirationally, we could have all this done this year. I know that is not much, but we could have all this done this year. Um, and then it would kind of be a tough question because it makes the most sense to me to go around the coast and then fill in the middle so that we know how high we can get in the middle and how much we have to come down on the other side. Also, ignore the fact there's no mountains down here. There's gonna be mountains all up in the place down here. Um, uh, so I would probably do this and then continue this way to Gilson City, and then I'll be building Gilson City for the rest of my natural life. Um, so we might do maybe when we get this far, we'll take a break from doing Gilson City. Like we'll get a part of the way through, and then we'll go and do some of this or some of this, or just like continue out the bottom and do some stuff down here. But this is going to be a humongous lift. I mean, look at the density of track in here. There are no places where we can get away with like this and cutting out the middle because it's all flat and city. There are no places where we can get away with doing this because the tracks are too close together. It's just like it doesn't scare me, but I know that it's going to be an absolutely obscene amount of work, and I have no idea how many years it might take. Because let's put it this way. Let's put it on a realistic. Uh, uh, what state is this railroad in Rhode Island? It's so it's a quasi. Some of this is quasi New England, but um, it's not. It's not any particular place. It is not in America or in North America or even necessarily on planet Earth. There is no like analog for this place. It is just the peninsula. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot of this is going to be vaguely New Englandy. Some of this has been like sort of Iowa, and I think this will be a lot of like Midwestern vibes. This is going to be, I'm not entirely sure, but probably Providence-ish in terms of size as well. Um, maybe a little bit bigger than Providence, but Providence vibes. And then down here is going to be either like mid-coast Maine vibes, or when you got up into here, this side is probably going to feel more like the Rocky Mountains. Um, there's going to be some high desert up here. It's going to be kind of a mess. I don't even know what to put down here. Honestly, it wouldn't be out of the question for me to go like full southwest down here. Because this just makes me think of Baja California. But I don't know that area well enough to make like a simulacrum of it. So I don't trust myself to do that. Yeah, map looked like the tip of Rhode Island. I mean, I could believe it. It's just kind of facing the wrong way. The ocean's on the wrong end. Um, Up is north, and that's 15 miles. So the Gilson Eastern Main Line is going to be like 200 miles long at the end of it. That's my goal. The hell was I saying? In terms of vibes, in terms of whatever. Yeah. Let's just put this rationally, right? And this is going to be me getting in my adult stuff right now. I'm getting married this year. I can say that now. As of 2 days ago, I can say, or as of yesterday, I can say I'm getting married this year. That's a big deal. I'm really excited about it. I hope you all tune in for the wedding. Fingers crossed I can make that stream work. So that. Maybe give it a couple years, but I would imagine by like 2028, probably gonna have a kid on the way, if not have a kid already, and that it's a lot of time. So I'm not gonna act like I'm on a ticking clock here, because no matter what happens, I don't think I'm going to stop doing this. I don't think I'm going to stop doing this entirely, but I think it's going to end up reducing from a once a week thing to like a once every couple of weeks thing on the regular. Like, I'll try to do it every week, but I won't do it every week, I would imagine. Um, uh, Purcell. I thought that said Purnell, like, Ella Purnell. She played in the Fallout show that I haven't watched yet, right? That's her name. Uh, if I could make this Purnell, and then you could have the Purnell and Purcell. Um, anyway, like, I'm gonna get as far as I can to the west before I am sucked away into the hole of adulthood forever. And I'm always gonna try to come back and work on this. Like, I don't intend to ever give up on it. And I have enough saved CDPs and stuff on the download station that I don't think anything catastrophic is going to happen to it. Especially if I can get this section sort of notched in, right? And say, okay, like, this is done, this is on the download station. If I ever, like, ruin everything, I can fall back to it. It wouldn't be fun, but I could do it. So I'm always going to keep pushing forward on this. This is not a project where I care about the end, right? I wouldn't say we're looking at a pause in the future. What I would say is it is realistic to assume that it's going to get harder for me to do this weekly than it is right now within the next few years, and that's not going to change for a while after that. You know, so that's I'm just trying to be realistic here. So what is my plan? The short-term plan: get this done, start working on this, complete this, because then I will have an end here, an end here, and an end here, and no ends that are supposed to touch each other anytime soon. The 3-foot gauge is a different problem. Well, let's not worry about that right now. And that way, when things slow down, I will still have some reasonable endpoints that I can then work off of. And if I do this, because this is not, it doesn't go anywhere, it's a dead end, I can just sort of chug away on this and not worry about, continuing the main line and figuring all that out, at least not for a little while. So that's number one. Number one is do this. Number two is maybe get out to Ravenbridge. But failing that, probably go this way. Getting to Ravenbridge would be like a decent stopping point, because I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this line in place or not. It's marked as abandoned on the map. It might still be there. I'm not sure if I want to do that. It would be a lot of work to put that in, because, I mean, look how far apart these are from one another, but, I don't do things in half measures. This isn't a project where I'm worried about the end. This is a project where I'm intending to sit down and do it every week from now until I can no longer do it. Whether that be because, like, I can no longer play Trainz because I simply, like, am incapable of doing it, or Trainz no longer works, or, we're all destroyed in a nuclear catastrophe, or, whatever, just whatever you want to put your mind to, whatever you think could stop me from doing this. I intend to keep doing it until I can no longer do it. And at that point, well, maybe somebody will pick up the torch. At the very least, I am honored to have affected so many people's journeys through Trainz. And inspire people and encourage them to build, because anyone can do this. I want, people, you guys can look back at my first routes. They're on this channel, or some of my first route, maybe like my third big route, uh, was the Geiger Mountains, and that's on this channel. You can go right back to some of my first videos uh, and see it, and it is nothing to write home about. It is not very exciting, and it's not very good. But you know what? Everyone starts somewhere, and that's fine. As long as you keep plugging away at it, you're going to get better. So, what am I going to do with my kids? What are we going to do about your kids, Marty? I'm sure they will have good taste in music, whatever music taste they have. Every music taste is a good taste in music. I listen to a little bit of everything, so I can't judge, certainly. And even failing that, you're going to like what you like. I'll never disparage somebody's music tastes. And, who knows if they will become rail fans? Who knows if they'll follow in my footsteps? Who knows if they're going to be foamers, or if they're going to like planes or cars, or, music, just, musicians, and, who knows what their passions will be. I certainly don't. I have hopes, I have dreams, I have wonders, but the one thing I know more than anything else is that my children, should I be lucky enough to have any, will be their own people, and I will be overjoyed to guide them through life and learn with them. If they become lawyers, that would be just as well. Lawyers are... I could have gone to law school. I've tossed around the idea. I wouldn't have minded being a lawyer. But you should be more like your father. As long as they are good people, good at heart, caring, kind, and willing to help, then, that is all I could ever ask for. Absolutely all I could ever ask for. Should take my kids to rock concerts if they like them. If they like rock and roll, then we'll go to rock and roll concerts. If they like pop, we'll go to pop concerts. If they like rap, we'll go to rap concerts. If I'm not. I listen to all the above. I want my kids to, I will certainly. I mean, my kids will certainly indulge in the things that I indulge in. I'm a dad. I drive the car. I control the radio. But like, I want them to find something that they love, and I want to do it alongside them. Take them to see Daughtry. Willing to keep the Volvos going. Teach them to run steam. Yeah. Oh yeah. It takes a village, right? I'm glad you think so, Pat. I'd like to think I'll be a great parent. Hopefully, I'll at least be an adequate one. Who pinged me? Hey, Mason. How do you install the persistent jobs mod? Yeah, no, the newest version on Nexus should be fine. Should let you and Ben teach your kids PN if they become rail fans. I mean, that assumes we're gonna have a Providence Northern in 10 years, which I really hope we do. With folks like you around, I'm more optimistic than I have been in a long time that we will have the people to keep the Providence Northern going, because I don't know about I don't know who keeps these kind of records, but we probably gained and lost a record amount of people this year at the Providence Northern. We've had a lot of plaques up on that board this year, and that kind of hurts to think about. I'm amazed of who's still with us. I'm so grateful for every single one of the Providence Northern members that I grew up with, that I've known for 20 plus years, most of them. Um, and, no, Pat. That's the first, yeah, thank you, indeed. What are the plaques for at the PN? They are for members that have passed away. Um, all the plaques on the wall there, they're all for late members who have contributed greatly to the club, and we've decided to remember them. I think Dave Dave Haskell, Bob Haskell should be getting uh, one up there pretty soon. Yeah, past PAST and PASED both. Well, they have to be both, not one to the other. Yeah, Don Haskell. I don't know why I said Dave Haskell. Don Haskell. Wow, that's a real flub on my part. Don. We had a lot of Dons. And we're running low on Dons. We had 4 Chris's at one point. But yeah. He was a cool guy. I'm gonna miss him. Let's just fill this in with grass. We did have 4 Chris's at one point. I think now we just have like 1. I don't know what happened to all the other ones. It's Peter Griffin showing up, yeah. Yeah, we had 5 T1s, yeah, last Big E. Or I didn't know that his T-1 was Kaputski. Maybe he'll go and work on it now. Teach my kids to stay away from the pain of being a Cowboys fan. Listen, they can be a fan of whatever sports team they like except for the Jets. Just kidding. If they're Jets fans, I'll still begrudgingly accept them. You know, they can be Cowboys fans if they want, as long as they are kind fans. Okay. It's 9:30. What should I do? What should I get up to for the next 30 minutes? Do you think I could finish this in 30 minutes? I still don't know what to do with this intersection. Here's what I'll do. Because I found those Jersey barriers. This is reminding me of an intersection in Albany, which is blocked off. Hey Alice, can you send me your map of this route? I'd like to use it as inspiration for my route. Yeah, sure, I'll do that right now. Let me see. Hopefully I can send this. Let me just file save as. Save it as a PNG. Tolbrand. What's today's date? 2025. 0102. Yep, flatten the image. Sorry, give me just a second. It might. I'm not sure if it's going to be too large to send. Let's try it. Oh no, I can send it. There you go. It's a big picture. Zoom in. You're very welcome. Okay. Number 19, mouse in baked beans. I feel like I never answered the question of what should I know before going to Derail Valley. It's okay to screw up. That's okay. Here's something that you actually really should know. They're going to give you a locomotive catalog. That locomotive catalog will tell you stuff about the engines, and especially because you're probably going to do the tutorial. And then you're going to use the DE2 to bring one car down to the steel mill. Also, personally, I recommend Persistent Jobs mod. I like it a lot, but I'm not sure how it will work if you keep bidding it and like breaking and exploding things. So I can't recommend it. I don't know what happens if you blow up everything. I know there was some discussion about making up a spot for cars to respawn. And honestly, if you manage to destroy enough freight cars that you really start to feel it in the valley, you're probably breaking and exploding an awful lot of things. Um, I like persistent jobs though. Like it's a must-have mod for me because you come back to a set of back to a yard and it's exactly how you left it. You can organize it. You can have all your jobs going to one place on track 1 and all your jobs going to the other place on track 2, etc. And they'll stay that way. So there's basically no downside. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Yeah, but use your locomotive manual to know how much you can pull over the road. For most places, assume you're going to run into like a 2% grade somewhere and use the 2% blah 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 thing. It'll tell you can pull this much over 2%. Alright, see you, Pat. Have a good night. Good seeing you. Why is my phone ringing when... Oh. Oh, my wife is coming home. Appreciate that. I like it when Gloria comes home. Let's put this over here. Let's split this spline right here. So yeah, be aware of what you're going to pull. Be aware of the capabilities of your locomotive. Read your locomotive manual, and be vigilant when you're driving. I guess that's that's sort of a foregone conclusion, but worth saying. Let's see, what else can I say? What else can I give as advice? Excuse me. Don't panic. You can get away with a lot. You can get away with going a little bit over. You can get away with going, with pushing your locomotive into the yellow. You can get away with, taking a little bit more if you do it right. Don't run out of water in the steam engine. And, here's actually a really good piece of advice. Every sound means something. Every sound means something. If you are out of oil, if you've forgotten to oil part of the steam engine, you're gonna hear it. If you are overheating your brakes, you're gonna hear it. If you left a handbrake on, you're gonna hear it, unless you're not very close to that car. Or you have air in the cars and the brakes aren't all the way off. You're gonna hear it. Every sound in that game serves as a degree of warning to you, the player, that something is wrong. And take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Now, there are a couple things that sound scary that aren't. Like the dynamic brakes all sound really scary, but they don't necessarily mean anything's wrong. Oh, for Christ's sake. Can I please update this? I'm struggling at Surveyor 2. Replace spline with select. Nope. All right. Now, damn it. Now I'm 50% for 50/50s so far. We blew it. Nope. Oh, now I'm 33% for 50/50s. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so I have this, and then what I want to do... Actually, what I want to do is probably... No, what I want to do... No, I haven't lettered... I don't letter stuff. I don't do anything with... I'm not a custom model person. I send things to Jader, and he works on them. But if you want to do something for me, you can. I don't... I'm not picky. Although I like to throw money at Jader. I haven't really thought about what I want to letter it, or anything else for that matter. We talked about doing it Providence Northern, which is a fine thing to do. But I've also talked about doing Mansfield Branch Railroad, which is the canonical predecessor to the Iron Horseman. I've talked about doing an Iron Horseman, same with everything else in my roster. I don't really have the money or like the, you know, the time to think about what I really want to do with that right now. With any of my models, really. This just looks like a friggin' Factorio thing. It's Factorio Railroad Crossing. I'm gonna get my LW box work back from Matt. He's at the PN. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't have a front. What the hell? Jesus Christ! Hi, Jessica. Jessica is not effing welcome here. This is Anarchy Chess. Let's fill this in here. Sorry, I meant to say you need to get your Milwaukee Road boxcar back. Let's do that. And then, I don't know how I want to fill this in. The Milwaukee Road. Yeah, that sounds cool. Find some airbrush paint. I kind of want to put like a little office or something in here. Well, maybe not, but like I feel like this is empty space that I should put something in, but not foliage, not foliage, not that sort of thing. Let's fill this in there. Something else I forgot to say about this coming year is we're definitely going to have another batch of trading cards, probably within the next few months. I haven't nailed down any of the details yet, but I'm almost certain that's going to happen. There might be some collaborations going on, maybe not. Can't say much about that right now. Don't want to get people excited for something that may or may not happen. But I have a lot of collaborations that I would like to do with the trading cards. And if you want to lean on any museum, organization, group, etc. that you think could benefit from them, feel free to go on our website, theironhorseman.com, and download the one-page abstract and send it to them. Or, I think it's called the abstract, I don't know. If you go to theironhorseman.com, Document Center, and if you scroll down, the two-page abstract, yep. And it has like a little elevator pitch on what the cards are and what they do and why they're cool. I don't know whether my ESNDT boxcar and set it free on the layout. Oh yeah, no, hold on, Train Street, hold on, I got something for you. I'm gonna put this in the foam pit, or not in the foam pit. I'm gonna put it in the foam squad. Oh, never mind. Mew posted it. Mew beat me to it. He posted it a minute ago. Mew, you're listening, aren't you? Anyway. Okay. I have to fill this in. I think I'm just going to fill this in with grass, and I'm not really sure what to do after that. Although, this could have a little parking lot. Like... No, let's grab one without stuff on either side. I haven't been good on putting curb... I haven't been super, like, consistent on putting in curb cuts. Because to do that for houses is a tremendous amount of work. But to do it for a business or two, that's not that bad. That's not nearly as difficult. I think I want to grab... Hi, baby. I understand that you're on the way home. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Cherry Dunbar says, do you hear about the Train Simulator World Tour Xbox Edition? No, I have not. What is that all about? Oh, Trainz... Oh, Trainz Simulator... Oh, no, I didn't realize Trainz was going to do a console thing. I think that's cool. I mean, Trainz is not a bad game to do that with. It's not exactly super performance intensive. And it's not exactly a disaster piece when it comes to driving things around. unlike some other console games. Uh, oh, Trainz 2019, but for Xbox. Okay, does it have like that's not bad then, because Trainz 2019 is a pretty decently put together product. Trainz 2019 is a solid upgrade over Tane. It's it is honestly worse than 2022 in like every imaginable way, but that's not really a deal breaker because it's not bad. It's just that they managed to make 2022 better in every way, which is interesting because usually you lose something. I mean, more often than not, you lose performance, right? It's like, yeah, the more modern game, it looks better or whatever, but it performs worse on the same system because it's more graphically intensive or something. Uh, 2022 just straight up performs better in every respect, but I assume that putting it onto Xbox has been something that's been in the works for a while now, and I'm not surprised that they started with like an earlier version of the game. A version of the game that really isn't missing much, unless you're missing like Trainz Plus stuff. And in that case, you know, sorry, you're kind of SOL anyway. I wouldn't expect that necessarily to be on Xbox. Let's put this here. Coal Country. What about the new? There's a new Coal Country, isn't there? I've heard good things. I haven't screwed around with it. Because I hardly ever like mess with the built-in routes because I'm too busy building this thing. Let's just put that right there. Okay. Yeah, I remember somebody was messing around on the new Coal Country route. I can't remember who, but it was I think it was Rusty during last podcast or before last podcast. Let's do this. So do this. Let's do this. Let's just fill all this in here. Let's fill that in there. The cat is all up in my business, screaming at me because he's hungry. I'm surprised we actually managed to get this done. I'm calling this done. I'm calling this done-ish. Done enough. It is, you know, there's not much I can add to these 3 blocks. Excuse me. Not much I can add to these 3 blocks. This is just done. Which is cool, actually, because it means this whole area in here, to the north of this road here, is done. And it means that everything, like, on this side of these two... Oh, well. I need to leave myself a note to fix this, because I'm not fixing it right now. That's my note. Cheers, everyone. Yacht Club soda. Buy Yacht Club soda, buy trading cards. I'm so happy with the way this town is coming out. I mean, I'm sure I was this happy with the way that Olive was, and now I'm really not happy with it. Like time goes on, right? And yeah, I will be bringing the trading cards to the Province of Northern on Saturday. Ooh, I need to run by the wedding venue before I do that. I need to spend some time tomorrow getting stuff squared away, and then I'll go there in the morning, and then I'll come to the PN for a little while, for however long. Yeah, your. Use the correct your. Come on, grammar time. Okay. We've got a lot of, we've got a lot of stuff to figure out here. We've got a lot of industries to do. That's gonna be a kind of a hurdle in the not so distant future. Is we have a lot of industries to take care of. There are two big lifts that we haven't even touched yet, and one is that we need to set up all the industries in these towns. Which the fact that we have most of the track aside from down here, the big yard, um, means that we can get a head start on that if we want to. Um, and B is that we've got a lot of crossings to do. Like we got to do I got to learn ATLS again or TRC or something because we've got a lot of crossings to take care of. This one is not. This one is certainly not least. Yes, Steamtown or bust. So yeah, I think I'm gonna hold on. Let me change one little thing here, which is let's just do this, and then let this sort of sink into the ground. Let that sink in. Because right now it looks a little weird ending where it ends. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are other hurdles, like we've got to replace all these switch stands. We actually need to come up with a switch stand scheme properly. I know Mason had one. Um, so, anyway. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been a productive episode. This has been a much more productive episode than I expected coming in. I didn't have any idea what I wanted to get done today, and I was just like I was all over the place with thinking about this today and just like, is it gonna work? Because I had to reinstall Trainz like a couple weeks ago, and just like, what am I gonna get done? What do I feel like getting done? I don't feel like getting anything done. And then I came into this route. I sat down, and it all just kind of clicked, which is the best thing you can ask for. So thank you all for coming to this episode of Under Construction. I will see you all next week, probably. I mean, the 9th. I don't think I'm doing anything on the 9th other than this and work. So, you know, hope to see you again soon. This is the Admiral.